have a good friend who lives in the UK, a very intelligent man, who wrote me an email. I received an email from him this morning, and I want to share this email with you guys and talk about this with you today. So I'm just going to read what he wrote. He wrote, quote, "In the UK, the four-legged animal that causes most human deaths is the cow. Most of the people killed by cows are farm workers, and they are in danger because of their close and frequent proximity to these large animals. Of the non-farm workers attacked, injured, or killed by cows, over 90% of them are dog owners. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, there was a story about a woman who was fighting for her life after an attack by a cow. I read the headline and knew that there would be reference to a dog further into the story. Sure enough, her dog had been killed by the same cow. The newspaper represented the woman and her dog as poor victims of a cow that had mysteriously gone berserk. The true story was that she had let her dog off leash in a field of cows with their calves, and the dog did what dogs do and started to attack the cows." And then he puts in brackets, "Sorry, by attack, I really meant, quote, say hello, play with, and be friends with," end quote. He continues, "Last week there was another story about an inquest into a woman who was fellwalking when she was attacked and killed by a cow." And he explains a fell is the name for a hill in that part of England. So she was walking with her dog out in the hills. Again, he writes, "The involvement of the dog was not apparent until near the end of the report. They also added that another dog walker had been attacked by cows in the same area the day before. The reporter couldn't or wouldn't put two and two together and realize that the common denominator was vicious dogs, not vicious cows." So I have been reading some of these stories and doing some research this morning, and I find it extremely annoying because in these articles people will say, "Oh, the cows were completely out of control," and yeah, you know what? Any mother would be completely out of control if they sensed the presence of a predator around their kids. Because what's happening here is that these mother cows are standing around in the fields with their babies. Dogs come around, start chasing after them. And the cows are not stupid. They can recognize the dog as the predator that it is. Here are these people wanting to humanize their fur babies, call them their kids and so forth, and they are in denial of the dog's true nature. These animals have been domesticated for a long time, but they retain the instincts of their wild ancestors. They are unpredictable, bloodthirsty, remorseless, fanged, predatory carnivores that have an instinct to chase and kill vulnerable-looking animals. Mother cows know this. So yeah, they go out of control. Yeah, they go a bit berserk. Can you blame them? I can't. They want to protect their babies. Why wouldn't they? But no, they don't mention this in the articles, do they? They make it look like the cows are these, out of control berserk animals. And the poor doggy got hurt. The poor doggy got killed. How unfortunate. What a tragedy. This needs to be called out, guys. This is so stupid. So this article published by The Conversation back in 2017 talks about what they call the dog factor. They explain that having a dog with you definitely makes a difference when it comes to being attacked by cows. They explain that dogs look like predators. Well, they are predators, and cows know this. And that dogs are even more threatening to dairy cattle than unfamiliar people. 94% of walkers killed had dogs with them, and 2/3 of all attacks involved dogs. So then there's a link to recommended advice, and when you click on that, it brings you to a report where you can read about why the cows are attacking, and they explain the maternal instincts and how cows are threatened by the presence of predators and they're protecting their children. And then they give guidelines, and the recommended guidelines, the advice they give to people is to keep your dog on a leash when you're out walking with them in the presence of cows. But to let go of the leash if you become threatened by the cattle. Release your dogs if the cows become, threatened and start chasing you. Nowhere does it say to not walk your dog in a field with cows. Nowhere does it say to not own a dog. That should be the number one advice. If you don't have a dog, you don't have to walk your dog. Of course, these dog lovers, right? They have these dogs. They want their dogs to run free because they think it's cruel if you don't. They think it's cruel to keep your dog leashed all the time. So they seek out areas where dogs can go off leash. Now, my friend lives in a seaside town, which has new laws now. He explains that since 2014, many local councils have used public spaces protection orders to control antisocial dog owners, he writes. I'm quoting him right now. He says, this has allowed them to introduce leash laws and no dog areas. In my town, it used to be a dog free-for-all with dogs running about everywhere. People would drive here to be beside the sea and let their dogs run everywhere. And since the new PSPO policies, the situation is much better. But there is a but. He says, with these new restrictions enacted by towns, more people are taking their dogs to the country to run about. So we are now seeing an increase in attacks on sheep, and I have talked about that in the video I made about how dogs threaten livestock or domestic animals. And he writes here that there's an increase in attacks on sheep, cows, and other domestic animals. This is also likely to increase cow attacks on humans. So there you go. This is what's going on. There are going to be more attacks by cows. And so whenever you see a report like this, where they are portraying the poor dog walker, what tragedy, right? Attacked by these out of control berserk cows. Read the article and you're going to see there's most likely a dog involved. And what's really dumb is like they say keep your dogs on a leash. It doesn't even matter if the dog is leashed. It will still trigger the maternal instinct in these cows and cause them to become aggressive. You can see in some cases, in some of these stories, the people were walking their dogs on a leash. I think they say lead more in the UK. Anyway, even if it's on a lead, it's still going to trigger the cows and make them, trigger them to become aggressive and chase you and attack you. So the answer is not to keep your dog on a leash. Why don't they say that in the guidelines? They don't even say that. Just tell people, don't have a dog, don't go walking with a dog, and then you'll have nothing to worry about. Not only will you be safer, you're not going to, put your own life in danger. You're not going to be stressing out these poor animals who are, trying to keep their babies safe. There's nothing cool. If you're an animal lover, you would not want to stress out those poor animals. I just made a video about that, how being a dog lover does not make you an animal lover, because a lot of these dog lovers don't give a rat's ass about cattle or any domestic animal or any wildlife for that matter. Check out those videos I made. It's ridiculous. These people are not animal lovers. They don't care about anyone but themselves. And that's very narcissistic. Made videos about that too. This narcissistic need to have this, what they think is unconditional love, to have a creature groveling at their feet constantly, staring at them constantly, following them around constantly. They like to think that this dog worships the ground they walk on. It doesn't. It doesn't love you. It doesn't care about you. It only cares about food and is following you around, hoping you're going to drop a piece of food for it to eat. Hoping you're going to dispense food for it, because that's all you are to it. You are a food dispenser. When are people going to get that through their heads and see dogs for what they are? I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's going to happen. Just like the first people who began speaking out about the dangers of smoking and the reality of smoking, they were shunned, they were mocked, they were laughed at, they were ridiculed, they were attacked. People hated them. But they persisted, and thank goodness they did, because today people recognize that they were right. And it's going to be the same thing with dogs. Us dog haters who are speaking out, we are telling the truth about dogs. And these dog lovers don't like it. But you can't run from the truth. You can't hide from the truth. The truth is going to be revealed. In the future, everyone's going to see that we are right. Dog lovers are delusional. They are a blight on our society. They are a menace. And they're going to wake up, or they're going to be, first, you know what's going to happen? Dog ownership is going to be banned. And, it's going to be a crime to own a dog. Just like at one time, it was okay to own exotic, dangerous animals. It isn't anymore. It's a crime. It's against the law. Same thing's going to happen. The future is dog-free, people. Let's stick together. Keep speaking the truth. We're going to win. Have a great day, and I'll see you later.